Spline's Hana adds some very cool 3D capabilities, AI relighting gets a massive upgrade, and Cavalry gets even more powerful, if that's possible. It's Motion Mondays, the first episode of 2026. 7. Spline, the real-time 3D tool, and Hana, their 2D sibling app, are getting a little cozy. Spline announced that Hana can now incorporate the same 3D objects and technology that Spline has. You can enable it for any vector shape by adding the 3D shape effect, then apply lighting, materials, and animation. This is cool because while Rive is quickly becoming the go-to interaction design tool, it doesn't have native 3D capability yet. Spline's 3D tools are pretty robust, and its interaction tools, while simpler than Rive's, are easier to learn for simple micro interactions. There are great effects built right in: refraction, shadows, glassy effects, depth of field, and now with 3D and Hana, you can combine 2D and 3D in the same system. On Spline's site, you can see how these interactions work in real time. Hana works a lot like Figma, set up frames, add objects easily. And Spline's 3D renderer is very fast, even with material options like refraction and blur. For artists working in interactive applications, knowing both could actually be really useful. Disney and OpenAI struck a landmark deal to bring licensed Disney IP into Sora and ChatGPT images. Fan-generated short videos arrive in early 2026, and curated selections will then stream on Disney+. What does this mean? Well, maybe that generative video is moving from experimental to mainstream. For this not to blow up in Disney's face, they'll need serious guardrails. Obviously, there are certain things you don't want Mickey Mouse doing in a generated video. The deal lasts 3 years, but only the first year is exclusive. This raises a lot of questions. To me, this feels like an experiment Disney's running to see if there's any ROI. Based on CEO Bob Iger's quote, it sounds like Disney realizes this is probably going to happen with or without them, so they might as well be involved. That's a sentiment a lot of artists are coming to grips with. There's nothing to see yet, but it will start showing up this year, and we will keep you posted. Quick School Motion News Roundup. Last week, we launched our End of the Year 2025 podcast, Nearly 11 Hours, featuring 17 guest contributors plus myself, Aaron, and EJ. We dove into everything: tools released, AI, the economy, how artists are doing. You can listen on 2x speed and you'll be better prepared for 2026 than any of your motion design friends. It's on our YouTube channel. For All Access members, mark your calendars for next Thursday, January 15th at 12 p.m. Eastern. Our first live 2026 workshop features the Rive team showing off some super cool data binding techniques. And if you're curious about All Access, now is a great time to join. We have nearly 3,200 students from all over the world with many new courses and workshops coming this year focused on the future of modern motion design. We hope to see you in class. Chaos Group released an update to V-Ray for Blender with AI features like an AI enhancer, AI upscaler, and AI PBR material generator. Using AI to enhance renders is a huge time saver. You can render at lower resolution and detail, but get results that look like you spent way more time in your 3D app. This is very useful for architectural rendering, where V-Ray is still used quite a bit. There are also updates to V-Ray Fur, a cleaner material node editor, easier migration from cycles to V-Ray, and full Mac OS support. Chaos put out a great video on their YouTube channel showcasing all the features. The AI upscaling is really impressive and could save a ton of render time. Nuke 17 is in open beta. We don't talk about Nuke much on this channel. Maybe we should. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I used to use Nuke a lot back in my studio days. It is, for my money, the best node-based compositor on Earth. Insanely powerful, and once you get the hang of it, you have a level of control over your images that's much harder to get with After Effects. In Nuke 17 beta, Foundry added a powerful toolset for working with Gaussian Splats, which makes sense for visual effects work. This is an easier way to get photorealistic 3D objects and environments than traditional geometry and lighting. There are lots of nodes to manipulate splats, crop environments, and even warp them. They've also modernized the 3D system with better quality and speed. All these updates mean less round-tripping between compositing and 3D apps. I'm curious though, how many of you use Nuke, and would you like School Motion to talk about it more? Time to check out some amazing work from around the industry. I wanted to kick off 2026 by focusing on work that demonstrates great taste. See, in the age of AI, when execution could be less technically demanding, what is going to separate the best artists? It's taste. First up, Kill Two Birds Studio created this beautiful promo for No Sudden Move. Look at these frames. There's nothing overly technical here. That's not what makes this great. It's the taste. The subtle choices of color, texture, composition, typeface. These are the things I want to focus more on in 2026 because it's easy to get excited about a new tool. It's harder to get excited about the basics of graphic design, but when you've got mastery of it, you don't need fancy tricks. Although you could generate frames like this with AI, would you even think to if you didn't have this taste and design language? Nathaniel Howe Studios in Los Angeles has a case study for an HGTV network refresh. In my previous life, I worked on quite a few brand refreshes, and these always require finesse. Using the HGTV roof logo as both a pointer and a literal roof, finding ways to use textures you might find inside a home as graphic elements, impeccable type lockups, and tons of organic grit really make this rebrand stand out. When you look at stuff like this, it looks obvious once it's figured out, but it takes a ton of design knowledge and experience to pull it off at this level. Funny story, I used to hire Nathaniel Howe, as a freelancer, and he's one of the fastest designers I've ever worked with, right up there with Justin Klausharder, churning out dozens of amazing boards in a day or two. And we can't talk about taste without mentioning Vucko. I chose this piece because on its face, it has no business being as classy as it is. It's a motion identity for TurboTax. What I love isn't just the clean design you expect from Vucko, but how they've incorporated motion that reinforces TurboTax's brand. The Intuit logo is a check mark, and they've mimicked that gestural quality in the motion itself. Things move like they're being checked off. This very smart idea gives this campaign a ton of legs and ensures all of TurboTax's motion stays on brand. You demonstrate taste by having the idea and knowing that you should do this. And Vucko and his team always come up with incredible concepts like this. Finally, our friends at Laundry worked on the opening titles for Now You See Me, Now You Don't on Amazon Prime, and they are phenomenal. The concept and the way the whole sequence feels like you're watching a magic show is just so clever. To pull this off, they needed lots of technical 3D execution and lots of ideas. The art direction had to be very precise to nail their requirements while keeping the audience's interest and playing into tropes of classic magic tricks. The taste necessary to make these choices and create art direction that works this well is why Laundry is, Laundry. This must have been an absurd amount of work, and all the love they put into it really shows. Lottie Files keeps cooking. As I said in our end of the year podcast, this company continues to surprise me. Even as Rive is ascendant, Lottie Files keeps extending the platform to keep it relevant. Their app, Lottie Creator, is a full-blown web-based animation platform that gives you a little mini After Effects where you can create animations and export them as Lottie Files with extra options. You can preview everything in real time, and anything you create will look correct when exported, something that isn't always the case when you're exporting from After Effects. Inside Lottie Creator, you can use mattes, masks, parenting, blend modes, and they've even added a duplicator, a MoGraph-esque tool. There's also a growing plugin library, including a physics simulator. They added a state machine tool last year for interactive animations, which is very clever, even if it's lacking the power of something like Rive. Between Rive, Lottie Files, and Spline, we're really spoiled right now for interaction design tools. One of our newest instructors, Eran Stern, dropped a tutorial showing you how to ensure colors match across Photoshop, Illustrator, and After Effects, a challenge we have all run into. Eran demonstrates opening files in Illustrator and Photoshop, bringing them into After Effects, and fixing subtle color shifts. The trick is learning how color management settings work. This is a very, very deep rabbit hole. Eran's tutorial will get you started and probably solve your most common issues. I also recommend reading through the comments because there are great questions that Eran answers. This is not a one-size-fits-all solution, and depending on where your work ends up, you may want different color spaces. So this won't answer all your questions, but it'll get you started and maybe give you an aha moment or two to help you start color managing correctly. Shout out to our School Motion Student of the Week, Dina Awadallah from Egypt, a 2D and 3D animator currently on the market. Dina recently completed the epic lyric smackdown from After Effects Kickstart featuring a hip-hop song that we actually wrote, recorded, and commissioned rappers to perform. That's the level of insanity that we bring to our training. I always love looking at how students attack this because even though everyone works from the same designs, these assignments end up looking so different. Even at this early stage, I can see Dina has great instincts for animation. With a little more training, Dina, you are absolutely going to be a killer. Dina told us that instructor Noel Honig doesn't just teach After Effects, he teaches you how to think like an animator, and that's the ethos behind every class we make. We don't just teach the tool because, well, that's no longer enough. You need to know what to do with it. You need some taste. I want to show you something very cool. This is Beeble AI, which has a simple cloud version that lets you test the technology before you invest in the desktop version. What this tool does is use AI to generate a really detailed normal map so you can relight footage. There have been tools like this for years, but this one is astounding. You can try it for free and upload your own footage or use demo footage. If you're shooting on green screen, there's even a mode to show what the footage will look like when keyed. What's crazy is you essentially have a full 3D environment that you can add lights to and move around to relight your footage and preview the result in real time. The detail that the tool is able to maintain is crazy. The ability to move lights around in 3D and get this level of detail is going to be very, very useful for visual effects and compositing. I highly recommend checking it out. Now this is super cool. The incredible Italian studio Elo has a sister company named Algo, who've always been on the cutting edge of scaling motion design using custom-built tools. Recently, they've gotten on the Cavalry train and built a proof of concept called Typeflow. Cavalry has the Cavalry web player currently in beta. What it lets you do is set up a Cavalry file and have a web renderer play it back in real time while giving you control over things you've set up. Algo built Typeflow tools that lets you play around with this. You can pick a template, change colors, change type, or just click randomize. Cavalry can also build responsive designs, so you can also preview the animations in different aspects. If you like something, you can click create video and Typeflow will render it and email it to you. Now, if you work with clients who ask for custom versions and who want you to build them a system for their designs, this is an incredible new tool. Cavalry, as I've said before, is the Houdini of 2D, and our first Cavalry class will be out early this year. Adobe released Substance 3D Designer 15.1. I always get the Substance tools mixed up, by the way. Designer is a procedural tool for creating materials. Painter applies and edits those materials on 3D models. You're welcome. This update has big workflow improvements to the graph creation window with better previews and tooltips. The node menu has been organized better. There's updates to noises you use to create textures. Adobe Substance 3D's YouTube channel has a great rundown of all the new features. Texture creation is obviously very important in 3D, and once you get the hang of procedural tools like this, you can create insanely detailed textures that make it easy to update things and port them to any 3D tool. And now that After Effects added support for Substance materials, I think more After Effects artists are going to start learning these tools. And our first Substance course is coming out shortly. We're trying to help you become a Swiss Army knife so you can take advantage of all of the new areas motion design is popping up in. And that is it for the first 2026 episode of Motion Mondays. Don't forget our 2025 wrap-up podcast, nearly 11 hours long. Our first all-access live workshop is next Thursday, the 15th at 12 Eastern with the Rive team. We now have nearly 3,200 students in all access, and if you want to fill your motion design toolbox with more knowledge, more tools, and more taste, there is no better way. Thank you so much for being a part of the School Motion community, and we will see you next week.